Good evening, everyone. We're so glad you're here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have the roll call, please?
Sure. Shoemaker.
Here.
Vaughn. Hirschberger.
Here.
Zollers.
Here.
Kellogg. Here. Hofstadter.
Here.
Okay, so some upcoming things on our community calendar. Colton Dixon will be at the Ohio Star Theater on February 7th. February 28th is Girls' Night Out here in downtown Millersburg. And March 28th, looking ahead a little bit, is Hop Around Millersburg. That's a scavenger hunt for kids, open house at all of our downtown businesses, an adult Easter egg hunt with store discounts. So those are some things we have looking forward to. As in all of our discussions, we ask for no interruptions. Everyone will have their chance to speak. If you have completed paperwork, council will also have their chance to ask questions if needed. So we're going to start out with ECOBA.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, distinguished council people, and staff. My name is Nicholas Montana. I'm the Chief Building Official and Plans Examiner for the East Central Ohio Building Authority. Many of you may know that in 2005, early, you contracted with our department to provide plan approval inspection services throughout the village. We also provide that service for Tuscarawas and Holmes counties unincorporated areas, as well as many of the villages within those two counties. There are 3 villages in Holmes counties we don't cover, but we just got Killbuck signed on with us here just in December. I have a report for the end of the year that I'd be glad to share with you. This will show the statistics for the department and the work we've done over 2025. The department's been doing very well for almost 21 years now, and happy to announce that we had 3 people retire. I have a 3-person staff, and they all retired this year. So we had to do some digging to find some viable replacements. Main difficulty is that these individuals have to be certified by the state of Ohio. So they have to have work experience through their trades, as well as be able to pass a test and take the Code Academy through the Board of Building Standards and meet their qualifications. So we have a new clerk. Her name is Jessie Rickard. She replaced Mary, who was with me for 19 years, Mary Renella. We have a new building inspector, Dave Thomas. He replaced Bob Thompson, who was with me for 10 years. And the new electrical inspector is Brian Snyder. He replaced Tom Stevens, who's with me for almost 10 years. So let's take a look at the report. And there are some details on the one page for the village of Millersburg itself. For last year, we had $238 million in construction. That would be new as well as alterations. Building square feet was 3.82 million square feet. Revenues, we brought in $815,000. Plan approval, we had 452, and we provided 3,330 inspections. Under department administration there, and there's a comparison between the last year as well as a 5-year average. And we're pretty average. This was actually our 3rd best year because we had a really good rebound in December. We had a couple of really large projects, another Provia project, as well as a project on the north end of Strasburg called Independence, Ohio. It's a oil and gas industry company that is building 3 new buildings. Like I said, the village of Killbuck did sign on. We got that approved on December 12th from the Board of Building Standards. Our monthly assessments are all up to date. We as a department have to pay the state 3% of our revenues for their certifications. Our building department is looking to purchase new building department software. We did receive a grant award through FEMA. It's the Brick Fund grant. And we're hoping to get that out and bid here within the next month or two. And we expect that to take up to 6 to 12 months to implement. And that will give us more access by the public as well as as contractors and design professionals. They'll be able to go online and check the status of projects, be able to submit their inspection requests online, and get an immediate update once the inspections are completed. I told you about my staff retiring. We have an advisory committee, and that includes a number of contractors, design professionals in Tuscarawas and Holmes County, at least ones that work in Tuscarawas and Holmes counties. We actually have a Wayne County engineer that's on that, but he does a lot of work in Tuscarawas and Holmes. And we meet there quarterly at our office. The second sheet is just a snapshot of the last 5 or 6 years, and it shows our total revenues and square footage for each year, so you'll be able to compare those. And also down at the bottom, that total column, the next to the last column, shows our totals for the whole building department in its entire history. We've had jurisdiction over $1.9 billion of construction. That's 48.9 million square feet. We've completed 8,193 plan approvals and brought in 10.8 million in revenues, and we had, don't have the columns showing that. That was the BDS fee of $1,300. Well, that's the average application is $1,300. That includes some really large projects. The fees are based on square footages and the different types of divisions like structural, mechanical, and electrical. And we had 51,538 inspections. Next sheet is a year-to-year comparison. Like I said, we were our third best year, and the 5-year average is on there as well. The next sheet shows the approval by jurisdiction. You'll see under Holmes County, we have the unincorporated areas as well as Millersburg. Last year, we had 18 plan approvals, 137 inspections. That involved 89,643 square feet and a total of almost 3.8 million in construction. And the fees generated through Millersburg was 18,284, or 2.2% of our revenues. The next page is the approval by subdivision, but by use group. And the building code separates all the buildings into separate use groups. The first large column is assembly. A2 would be restaurants. A3 would be community centers or churches. A4 is bleachers, that type of seating. And A5 is, that would be indoor seating, and then A5 is outdoor seating. So we had one restaurant probably and 3 community or church projects. The next column is business. We had 7 projects here in Millersburg. Education, 1. And then you slide on down to I2 is industrial, and that would be institutional, I'm sorry. That would be probably a nursing home project renovation. And M is mercantile. R is residential. We don't do 1, 2, or 3 family dwellings, but we do multifamily, and that also includes Airbnb construction for new projects. We had 5, maybe cabins. R2 would be is another type of residential apartments, or would be multifamily apartments. S1 is storage, and S2 is low hazard moderate hazard storage, and then U would be utility. So that gives you a rundown of all the projects we've had. The last sheet is a list of the larger projects we've had, and I don't see any of those ones on here. These are 500,000 and up, but you can see the Provia and Independence, Ohio there towards the top with the larger projects. And we have a new field house for Tuscarawas Central Catholic. That's really all I have to report. Do you have any questions for me? I understand someone on your here would like to get some more information on projects. Yes.
So my first question, in revenue, does any of that revenue come back to the village or to the county that you guys collect?
None of that is in the contract to be returned to the village or the county. No. We brought in around 150,000 more than our expenses this year, but we had to, because we had so many large projects within it, we had to defer some of that income to cover inspections. If any of the villages or counties wanted to go back to the state for jurisdiction, they're certainly welcome to it any time and for any reason. Then, of course, that revenue would go back to the state, would not become local. We do purchase gasoline in homes in Tuscarawas counties, but that's really the only benefit. We are looking for a plumbing inspector, so we would have to contract with the health districts. We have 3 in our area, Holmes, Tuscarawas, and New Philly. So we are looking for and that would have to be contracted through the health district, but we are looking for a plumbing inspector, and I'm hoping we can find one over in Holmes County.
My second question is, so what triggered this was, I wasn't on council very long, and some people had purchased buildings downtown
Certainly.
and started renovations, and certainly didn't know, it could be called ignorant, but I mean, didn't know that
Right.
once they started that, what that triggered. Can you explain?
Yes.
Can you give me a scenario, even if what had happened with one of these buildings and what triggered everything?
The Ohio Building Code requires, under the Ohio Revised Code, requires the owner to submit for approval and inspections for any alterations or new construction. There had been some instances where alterations were begun, and then we would receive a complaint from somebody, and we'd have to investigate it, and then at that point, they would have to get the proper application for approval, as well as any required documents submitted for plan approval, and then the inspections we completed.
And when you can go on your site, it's not an easy application.
The application,
Yeah.
we copied the state's application verbatim. It's exactly the same, as well as the fees. The only difference between our fees and the state's fees is they take another $3.25, and they also have you pay for inspections over a certain number. We've never needed to do that. We've been able to provide the inspections required. So those fees and applications are exactly the same as the state's. Our clerk is very good at helping people with those applications. Typically, those are completed by the design professional that's working with you on the project. There are some projects that do not require a design professional, and then that's a slightly simpler application, and that would be anything that, under definition of the code, does not require technical design analysis.
Thank you for coming tonight, too.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any other questions?
Certainly let me know if you have any complaints about the department, and I'll follow up on them. I do have business cards with me that I'll leave over here that you're welcome to, and any of the public's welcome to as well if they have businesses or projects they might be working on. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming. Okay, we are going to move on. Can we have a motion to suspend the reading of the minutes, please?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Uh-oh, that was a tie. Who was the second? I heard you. Okay. Hirschberger,
Aye.
Hofstadter.
Aye.
Killip,
Aye.
Zellers,
Aye.
Vaughn, Shoemaker.
Aye.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Oh, wait. There were some typos in there that I gotta fix. Nobody caught the typos? Because I had some. So, read that through, you will find dumb typos like home instead of homes, things like that. I'm gonna fix those, but beyond that.
Beyond the typos. A
Yes.
motion beyond the typos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw one where it was dated 2026, but it was from last year, and I forget where I saw it.
Okay, I'll search that out too. Okay. I'll find them, I promise.
So do we have a motion? Tom?
I'll second.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Hirschberger.
Aye.
Zollers.
Aye.
Kellogg.
Aye.
Hofstadter.
Aye.
Shoemaker.
Aye.
All right, Bill Resolution 2026-2. Are there any questions on the bills totaling $188,066.84? Hearing none, can we have a motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion.
Second.
Kellogg.
Aye.
Zollers.
Aye.
Hofstadter.
Aye.
Hirschberger.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Shoemaker.
Aye.
All right, Nate.
All right, the Design Review Board will meet on the 4th of February for a sign application for the Mouse House on South Clay Street. It's in the hotel annex building there.
It's a quilt shop, right?
I don't know.
That's what it says on the door. It says a quilt shop.
Okay,
Mhm.
sure. We met with Spicer Group, the county, and ORDC last week. Went over the preliminary plans for the sidewalk project. A few minor tweaks, nothing too major with that. The goal is they're gonna finalize the preliminary or the draft plans, get those back to us, and we'll set up a meeting with HDM and the merchants to allow them review and comment. All the funding agencies involved, there's not gonna be a whole lot of leeway with, we can't, it's a sidewalk, we can't do anything too drastic with it, but we wanna give them the opportunity to provide feedback. That same meeting, we were just double checking on all the funding. Arnie made a quick phone call and found out that the $10,930 from the governor's office of Appalachia was gonna hold everything up and cause us to file extensions before we even went to bid. So, may have overstepped, but I just said, let's proceed without it. We'll figure out where I don't see the sense in holding up a $400,000 project over $11,000. So I'll take my lumps on that one if you're upset, but that didn't make sense to me. So we're moving forward. We should be going to bid, I'm guessing realistically early March. We'll still get a good start date on that, hopefully. And I'm also looking at poles, light poles for this block, Washington to Mad Anthony, 6 lighting fixtures for street lights there. Want to get those ordered. The airport park, the sports court lights were ordered. The poles have been sent to production. It's like a 16-week process, so won't have any updates on that for a while, and then we're waiting on weather for installation. The housing study, we've got 2 more interviews. One's this week, and the last one hasn't been finalized yet, but Envision's working on everything on their end. You may have noticed Signal Service was in town the last few weeks. The cameras are up at each intersection. The cable's all been run. Pathmaster will be coming in to do their work. Signal Service is going to come back through and check everything, and then check all the crosswalk buttons and everything as well, just to make sure we're not starting out with any issues. Best of my knowledge, everything's working, but you never know. Once we get that all done, then we can talk about a startup date. Nothing on our phone system installation or the EPA generator grant or the alley vacations. Still searching.
I
Haven't
have an
had much-
idea about that.
Yeah.
The old council minutes went to 1950 in that book. They might be in there.
Well, this was like 38.
I know. It went from the beginning, like 1800 to 1950, so it might be in
Might be
that
in
book.
that book.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'll check that out. Thank you.
Mhm.
The last thing I have is our rep from Aspen Energy asked to attend the February 9th meeting. They wanted to talk to you guys about the market. with electrical aggregation. And then they also sent us this draft resolution, basically just authorizing entering the agreement with them, Aspen Energy. And then, you know, once we get good pricing, they'll be in contact with us. You guys will approve the rates, and then we execute the contract. If there's no comments or hesitation on that, we'll have this prepared for the next meeting. And then we'll just be watching, they'll be watching the market for a good time to strike on a rate. So I believe that's all I had. Oh, I'll give a shout out to the street department. They did a lot of work this last few days here, did a great job. I know, bear with us, there's snow everywhere. We're dealing with it the best we can. Streets and alleys, lots will be cleared back as we have time in the next coming days. We're hauling snow out of the downtown. We started this afternoon. Should finish up tomorrow if everything goes well. Parking can go back in place then, on-street parking. Really, everything went great. No equipment issues. Everything held together well. And people, multiple of our guys said how much they appreciated. People stayed home. It gave them a lot of room to work, and that helps. So thank you all for that as well.
Thank them for us because
Sure.
we appreciate being able to get out of our houses a little bit. All right, Chief.
The only thing I have is wanting council's approval to hire Nathaniel Meek as a full-time patrolman. I don't have a start date for him. It'll be within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We didn't come up with an exact date though.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Real quick, that's just gonna be the standard, do you know that we're supposed to have a starting wage in the motion? Do you know what that is off the top of your head?
I think it's 27.56, but
Okay,
I'm not
but it is the
100%.
standard certified
Yep.
patrolman, okay.
Yeah, base
All right.
level patrolman.
I'm sorry to interrupt, I just.
Bring him in here so we can meet him.
It's working.
Well,
Work-
in
work
2
for
weeks,
me.
our next meeting in 2 weeks. I wanna meet who's gonna arrest me.
Okay, I'm sorry, did someone motion that before I rudely interrupted? Okay.
I was making a motion.
You made the motion? Or did you
I
make?
made the motion.
You made the
I'll
motion.
second.
Okay. Hofstadter.
Aye.
Shoemaker.
Aye.
Vaughn.
Aye.
Hirschberger.
Aye.
Zellers.
Aye.
Kellogg.
Aye.
All right, Bobby.
All right, just a couple things. You remember a couple months ago where there was kind of a mass renewal time for some liquor licenses in town. This one's a little different. This one's for over at Confluence at the hotel. I don't truly know the difference between different types of liquor license, but this one is also up for renewal. So you may remember, we just need to know from you folks if we need to or want to object to the renewal of that license. It's no change, it's just a renewal of what they already have, but we do have the capability to object to that and request a hearing. So just need to know if you guys are okay with that one renewing, or if you want an objection filed.
I'm okay with that, I'll make a motion.
And you don't need a motion, just kind of a consensus. Everybody good with that?
I'm good with it.
Okay, all right. All right, the other thing, we completed employee evaluations at the end of the year, and Jessica, the administrative assistant that works under me, did a great job. Her evaluation's available for any of you to review, and I think that she has proven herself in every way possible. And I would like to ask permission to remove her probationary status. She's been with us for 9 months, 1 week this week, and I have a whole list of reasons why, if you want to hear them. But she's caught on to everything. She's very trustworthy. She's very accurate. Always willing. She's helping Mary a ton with the new water sewer billing system, and just available at all times for all of us, which is really the perfect administrative assistant. So good fit for the village. So if you guys are okay with removing her probationary status, we would just need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Zollers,
Aye.
Vaughn,
Aye.
Shoemaker,
Aye.
Hirschberger,
Aye.
Kellogg,
Aye.
Aye.
Hofstadter. Thank you. That's it for me.
Okay, the only upcoming committee meeting that I know of is the Design Review Board. If you are chairman of a committee, please be planning when throughout the year you would like to have your committee. I know the Finance Committee usually meets the middle of the year when it's time to start talking about appropriations, so if you chair a committee, then be looking at that. We don't have any legislation on here, so we are going to move on to the marijuana dispensary. We had 6 people fill out forms. If you 6 could please line up by the microphone, state your name and your address, and then your comments.
Steve McCrossin, live here in Millersburg.
Yep, that's great. No, you can tell us what you'd like to say, Steve.
Now?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well, good evening, Mayor and members of council. My name is Stephen McCrossin, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you tonight. I'd like to begin by telling you a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. Not as someone just chasing a trend, but as a longtime business owner, employer, and investor in this community. For more than 30 years, I've owned and operated a 3D seismic company here in Millersburg. Over decades, I've built businesses from the ground up, employed local people, complied with extensive state and federal regulations, and paid taxes that support the communities here where we live and work. Environmental compliance, safety standards, regulatory oversight has been a big part of my professional life for as long as I've been here. I live here, I raise my family here, my employees live here, and my company has contributed to the local economy for decades. I'm not a newcomer, and I'm not looking to extract value from the village and move on. When I first began exploring the project, my very first step was to meet with the mayor, to listen and to understand concerns. I want to approach this the right way, openly, transparently, and with respect for the role of the council. Since then, I have continued to gather input and to focus on what would actually benefit the village. The reality is, this is an adult use. Marijuana is legal under Ohio law. Residents of this village already travel to neighboring communities to purchase it. When they do, the tax revenue goes with them. Coshocton and Loudonville are collecting those dollars today, and Millersburg is not. What I'm proposing is not about promoting a product, it's about allowing a highly regulated state licensed business to operate locally so that this village can benefit from the revenue, oversight, and reinvestment instead of watching those benefits leave town. I'm committed to investing in Millersburg. This includes purchasing commercial property that may have sat vacant for years and redeveloping it into something clean, professional, and attractive, something the village could be proud of. This is not going to be a flashy operation. There will be no obnoxious signage, no disruptions, and no corner cutting. My goal is to build a facility that blends into the community and reflects with it. I'm equally committed to being a quality employer. The project will create new competitive jobs with accountability, training, and professionalism. After decades of running a regulated business, I understand that compliance is not optional. It's the foundation of long-term success. I also want to be clear about how this regulation works. Businesses like this operate under strict licensing, security, inventory tracking, and age verification requirements. These rules are enforced and violations have real consequences. In many ways, these businesses are more closely regulated than most retail operations you see every day. I respect that reasonable people can disagree on this issue. I'm not asking anyone to change their personal beliefs. What I'm asking is the council consider whether continuing a local ban actually serves the village interest, or whether it simply pushes economic activity elsewhere while leaving Millersburg with no control and no benefit. I believe the village deserves investment, jobs, revenue that can support public services without raising taxes. I believe vacant property could be improved and should not be ignored. And I believe local decisions should be based on facts, experience, long-term community benefit. I would not be standing here tonight if I were not fully prepared to do this the right way as a responsible business owner and a longtime employer and a member of this community. I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mary Baker Schaub. I live at 3012 Bayberry Cove in Worcester. Was there anything else you need me to say?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor Coffey and the members of this council. Again, my name is Mary Baker Schaub. I'm an attorney at Critchfield Law Firm, and I represent Precision Cannabis CBD Products, which is owned by Steve McCrossin. We respectfully request Mayor Coffey and council members to vote to repeal Village Ordinance 703.01. Tonight's vote is not about whether marijuana should be legal. That decision has already been made by the voters of this state. Marijuana is legal, regulated, and already being sold to Millersburg residents every day, just not in Millersburg. So the real question before you is not about legalization. It is about whether the village will continue exporting hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax revenue to neighboring towns, and whether it will responsibly bring that revenue home and decide locally how it is used. This is not a theoretical question. Ohio municipalities are already receiving these funds. Villages smaller than Millersburg are using them to support fire, police, infrastructure, and basic services without raising any taxes or imposing anything on the village residents. I expect you will hear some personal opinions and anecdotes tonight. You will not hear opinions from me. What I am here to do is to provide something different. Verified numbers, real Ohio data, and evidence from states that have been operating under recreational use laws for years. At the end of the day, this vote is not about whether any individual approves of marijuana use. It is about whether this council will make a decision grounded in facts, fiscal responsibility, and the reality that marijuana is already legal and already here. Let's first address the non-binding ballot issue with voters weighed on in November. This non-binding ballot issue should not control the decision. Only approximately 20% of the eligible voters participated, meaning 80% of the voters did not weigh in at all. This is not a mandate, this is not binding, and it occurred before the village had access to real revenue data. Council members are elected to exercise judgment, particularly where circumstances have materially changed. Since that vote, recreational sales have matured statewide, verified tax revenue numbers are now available, and host communities are actively receiving funds. Reconsideration is not a defiance of voters, it is responsible government. Ohio imposes a 10% excise tax on all adult use marijuana sales. Under Senate Bill 56, 30% of that excise tax is returned directly to host municipalities through the Host Community Cannabis Fund. This is general fund money. It is not earmarks. Council decides how it is spent. Statewide, during the first fiscal year of legal sales, $115.5 million was collected in sales tax from medical and recreational sales. 62 million of that was collected in the excise tax. Host community distributions began in January 2026. Real Ohio examples matter more than just projections. 7 Mile, which has a population of only 700, received $400,000 from one dispensary. Loudonville received $18,000 from one dispensary, and their dispensary has only since opened in June of 25. So this excise tax is from just 6 months. Loudonville is a village with approximately the same population as Millersburg. Elyria, which is of course substantially bigger, has received $374,000 plus an ongoing monthly amount of $23,000. Millersburg has more than 4 times the population of 7 Mile, and 7 Mile received $400,000 in 1 year alone. The revenue exists today. The only question is whether Millersburg receives it or watches it go elsewhere. Millersburg residents already purchase marijuana legally in Loudonville and Coshocton. That means that Millersburg residents create the demand, other municipalities receive the tax revenue, and Millersburg receives nothing. Maintaining this ban does not prevent marijuana use. It simply guarantees that Millersburg is subsidizing neighboring towns. The claim that dispensaries increase crime is not supported by any peer-reviewed research. Peer-reviewed studies examining Colorado and Washington found no increase in violent crime and no increase in property crime. Michigan legalized adult-use marijuana in 2018. After several years of data, there is no demonstrated increase in violent crimes in host communities. Furthermore, as Steve mentioned, dispensaries operate under heavy security requirements. Dispensaries are among the most regulated retail businesses in Ohio. Crime concerns are of course understandable, but they are not supported by evidence. Additionally, data does not support the legalization of marijuana or the presence of dispensaries to have any impact on minors' use of marijuana. In fact, federal data from the National Institute of Drug Abuse shows youth marijuana use has remained stable or even declined in legalization states. Teen marijuana use, drug use, and alcohol use is at historic lows nationally. Allowing a dispensary is not an endorsement of marijuana use. It is acknowledged that marijuana is legal under Ohio law. The village cannot prevent its use, but the village can decide whether to benefit from it locally. This vote is about control, oversight, and fiscal responsibility, not changing any community values. The village already understands there are many legal activities some residents may or may not choose to engage in personally, like supporting a local bar and getting a drink. This is no different. Council members, you are elected to exercise judgment, weigh evidence, and to act in the best long-term interest of the village. You have done that so far in all of your terms. Repealing Village Ordinance 703.01 is supported by documented data, Ohio tax figure revenues, and years of experience from states like our neighbor up north. What the evidence shows is straightforward. Regulated dispensaries do not increase crime, they do not increase youth use, but they do generate substantial recurring revenue for the communities that host them. What is also clear is this: maintaining the current ban does not stop marijuana use in Millersburg. It only guarantees that Millersburg receives none of the financial benefits while neighboring towns collect hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Repealing the ordinance does not endorse marijuana use. It acknowledges reality, restores local control, and allows Millersburg to benefit from a legal market that already exists. A vote to repeal is not a vote for marijuana. It is a vote for fiscal responsibility, evidence-based decision-making, and the people of Millersburg.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks.
My name is Roger Wheeler, and I've lived in the village for over 50 years. I agree that marijuana is legal. However, my gut feeling says that we should not increase the use here in Millersburg by opening a dispensary. I'm holding the latest edition of the Epic Times. In this magazine, in this newspaper, is an article by Evan Mantic. And I'll just give you a few things that he said. Research over the past decade now shows clearly how destructive cannabis is to the human body, especially the brain and the heart. A now famous large-scale study in 2018, eight years ago, by Amen Clinics, Johns Hopkins University, and other universities, looked at more than 60,000 brain scans and found that cannabis abuse led to the brain deteriorating nearly 5 times more than it does from alcohol abuse. The accelerated aging put the brains of cannabis abusers closer to the brains of people with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder than to alcohol abusers. Less than a year ago, Canada added a new warning on their cannabis products stating that, quote, using cannabis before age 25 can harm brain development and increase your risk of mental disorders like psychosis and schizophrenia. Last March, the American College of Cardiology said that, quote, 2 new studies add to mounting evidence that people who use cannabis are more likely to suffer heart attack. According to this article, 1 out of 10 people who have ever used marijuana end up addicted. Today, cannabis is at least 4 times more potent than it was in 1995. According to potency data tracked by the National Center for National Products Research. People talk about the money revenue. I don't think money revenue adds up to the brain disorders, the psychosis that could occur. And if we have a dispensary here in Millersburg, it'll make it more prevalent, that's for sure. I vote no.
Thank you, Roger.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm Rob Hubbs. I'm a resident of Millersburg, Your Honor. I'd like to congratulate Councilman Zollers and Councilman Hirschberger as the newest members of our city leadership. I made an extended statement explaining my opposition to opening a store to sell marijuana in Millersburg at the October 13th council meeting. I won't repeat that information, but I would ask members of council to review it. I'd like to make 3 points. First, the residents of Millersburg who cared enough about the issue to express their opinion at the November election voted 2-1 against having a store selling marijuana in this village. I think that makes a statement. Number 2, the arguments that I've heard made so far tonight in favor of having a store to sell marijuana are largely financial. Is this village so desperate for tax revenue that we have to open a store to sell a product that is likely to be harmful to our youth? If Loudonville and Coshocton want to sell that stuff, that's hardly a compelling argument for us to join them. For the last 27 years, I've taught a weekly Bible study at the Mansfield State Prison. Over 400 inmates have taken the course. Of those who were convicted of drug offenses and talked openly in class about their experience, all of them said marijuana was the gateway drug. It was the first step on the ladder that led to ever increasing harsher drugs. Why do we want to open a store like that in this village? The third and final point that I'll make is that it's very frustrating to me as a citizen to see the mixed messages that we are constantly sending to our youth. On the one hand, we are recruiting celebrities to go into our schools and preach just say no, telling our students just say no to drugs. And at the same time, this council is considering endorsing opening a store. The youth of this community who are watching these proceedings and who will read about your decision in the newspaper, if you vote to approve this store, they will most certainly interpret that as an endorsement of marijuana by the Millersburg Village Council. I urge you to think carefully.
Thank you, Rob.
My name is Katrina Burnett. I live on 388 South Place Street, Hilton, Millersburg. And I have been a nurse for over 25 years. I have spent more than 11 years in ER, and I have seen more people being injured by alcohol. Have you ever watched a person dying from cancer? Have you ever taken care of a patient who is on chemotherapy? No medication is working, they're puking their guts out. And the only thing that works for them is CBD, not THC. Do you know the difference between these two? Did anybody ever explain that to you? The two chemicals that are in the marijuana is CBD and THC. The one that gives you high is THC, and that is only produced when it's heated up. CBD is extracted when it's cold. And this medication that is in CBD has been proven to show children that have seizures and no medications are working for them. They are started on CBD oil, and within days, they have decrease in seizure. Sorry, I am not a public speaker. They have a decrease in seizure activity. People that are dying from cancer, nothing works for them. They take CBD, and they can die with it. You probably didn't expect to hear this from a nurse. I have never used CBD myself, but would you rather have somebody to grow their own with chemicals God knows from where, and then die because their liver is damaged because of the chemicals that they grew it with? Or would you rather have them go into a store where they can purchase it under high regulations, just like Mr. Mickelson said? I am not for drugs. I never was for drugs. But to me, alcohol is a drug. Nicotine is a drug. Yet, you endorse those with no problem. But you have an issue, some of you, with dispensary that under regulation sell CBD oil to those that need. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evening, folks. A lot of people call me by different names. I choose to go by Adam Barnett. That's the one my mother gave me. I live at 388 South Clay. You just heard from my wife. This past weekend, we got the packet that we normally get for this meeting up in here. One of these interesting letters used a term for me that, well, I'm not allowed to use because somebody took it upon themselves to try and silence me. I'm not going to do that anymore. Those days are gone. This individual that wrote this letter, I don't know how many of you people realize this. 6 months ago, 7 months ago, she was in support of having a dispensary in Millersburg. Support. What changed that brought her to this come Jesus moment? I can guarantee you I know exactly what it is. And I'm going to tell you. We're going to go back to what happened last meeting, though. When Councilor Vaughn decided to raise his voice and show himself a little bit. I get that you're passionate about it. I understand that. But I'm here to tell you the will of the people is a little bit different than what you might think. The will of the people is not 100% against. Not by far. The ones that didn't vote, well, I'll tell you what. Pull up that internet and see what I wrote this past weekend about the will of the people. Because there were a lot of people in support of it. You, sir, you get one vote in this council of 6.
Excuse me.
One.
Excuse me. You said that you had facts and data. I'm not going to have you attack my council members. Just tell us your opinion.
Shut me down either.
We just want your
The
opinion
fact
and
is,
your facts.
He attacked a fellow council member. That's a fact. It was on the record. He gets one vote. That is a fact. What he does with Hostetler and the weekends or whatever he wants to come up with and agree to vote with, that's his choice. The fact is, this gentleman here and that gentlelady there get to vote the way they feel, the way their constituents feel. They're not to be pressured by a fellow council person that's going to come in here and sling his name around and his authority and pressure them into voting the way he wants. That's a fact. These two members here that just joined, they really got thrown into the fire on this one. The letter that started all of this shouldn't have even been brought forward, because the individual that wrote that letter isn't even a citizen in this village. Another fact. One of these other anonymous letters that's in this packet, you've been in here 2 years and you've said you don't want to give any weight, any bearing, any measure to someone that says anything anonymous. You don't even allow in your own forum, your own walled garden, where you dictate who can and cannot join. I'm one of those ones that can. You've kicked out several people thinking they were me and they're not. Shutting up their voice. A fact. One vote. He gets to vote the way he wants. She gets to vote the way she wants. And the way their constituents feel. Not the way you feel. These two gentlemen here, I hope and pray, not just with this vote, but with all the others. They don't bow to your pressure. They don't bow to his pressure. They don't bow to her pressure. They vote the way the constituents that voted for them feel. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. As far as marijuana goes, this letter says, well, we don't want to have a high downtown Millersburg. Well, that's great. It's not high right now, and they're getting the product elsewhere. But yet, what did we just do today? We approved another liquor license, reapproval, whatever you want to call it. We have a bar literally on every street. We have a liquor dealership down the street. That letter, that same letter, brings up the fact that, well, we can't have this next to a teen center. Well, that's right, we can't have that next to a teen center. Because that teen center is surrounded by a brewery, a restaurant, and a place that sells liquor. And let me tell you something. I want to see how many hands in this room right now, raise your hand, if you drink alcohol on any basis. Once a year, New Year's, celebrations, anything. Put your hands up. Don't be afraid. And don't be ashamed. Put it up. Put that thing up there. I don't want to see a liar, and I don't want to make a liar. You don't drink it? That's great. Guess what? I do. But there's a lot of things in this world that are legal, allowed, that you can get in this town, and I don't do them. Guess what? It's the same thing with this dispensary. You don't want to go in there, don't go in there. You don't want to buy their product, don't buy their product. It's that simple. That simple. And you want to worry about the children? When you've got a liquor store and bars on every corner in this place, I guarantee you, those children can get their hands on a bottle out of a refrigerator faster than they're going to get it out of a dispensary. And I can guarantee you, none of you people that are against it have tried to step foot in a dispensary. Again, let's raise some hands up here, folks. How many of y'all walked into a dispensary? Really? Have you tried? Anybody else here? I have. Let me tell you something. Before you even get in the place, they card you. Okay? They check it. This isn't like going to Bellstar and buying a 40. Okay? You're not going to go in there as a 14-year-old and say, hey, I want a joint, man. That's not gonna happen. Those people stand a lot more to lose. You wanna sit there and talk about rungs on a ladder? Sorry, I hate to break this to you. You've got fast food around here too. They get addicted to the weed one puff. Sir, I'm 300 plus pounds. You think I came out of my mama like that? Nope, I picked up a fork and I used it. If we're gonna stop that kind of nonsense just because of that, then we need to start banning some forks around here. You really need to get educated, a lot of it. And I mean educated, not on this 20, 30-year-old unnamed study that's got a slant to it. Start doing what this lady said here and see how it helps medicinally, how it helps these folks in these hospitals. Because one day, you might be in their spot. Again, I hope you two folks stay strong and vote the way your constituents want you to vote. Don't let these people pressure you. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I add something? Just so you know, your children will get addicted to what you have in your medicine cabinet faster than the marijuana itself. They can go to Walmart and buy Tylenol if they want to kill themselves. And that is much worse than CBD, just so you know. I have seen people dying from that, and it's not a very big show.
Okay, so we are going to move on with this vote, and because of how many people are here, and I think all of our residents want to know why each council member is voting, I think that for full transparency, tell us your vote on the dispensary and why you're voting the way that you're voting. Bob, we'll start with you.
I will be voting for it. Reason being, we are going to lose close to $50,000 a year when the school moves out of town, the elementary. Second is to help assist the DEHASs with any profits to help build the YMCA that they've started. And that's the two main reasons, and housing, if we can do anything to bring housing, that's it.
Tom?
We as a council decided to put this on the ballot to get our residents' opinion. They voted in November, 2-1 against, and I don't know how, if we're representative government, how I cannot support their position and vote no.
Could you skip to them too, because we already know what those two are gonna be.
I have no problem. First of all, very simply, it's legal. Number two, 80% of the people didn't vote no. So we can talk about people that didn't show up, but I know this town, I know this county. And when they're against something, they're against something. And let me say another couple of things. We can throw out, Mr. Hovis, I appreciate that you go into a prison and you do Bible studies. My husband is a criminal defense attorney. He's been one for 29 years. I work for him. He's represented thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Not kidding. I have never seen an egregious crime happen from somebody on marijuana. I've seen it on alcohol. I've seen it on prescription drugs. And if we want to talk about our children, if you really want to do some studies, we are putting 4- and 5-year-olds on Adderall and Ritalin. Do you know what Adderall and Ritalin is? It's legalized meth. My husband has asked clients that are 18 and 19 years old who are addicted to meth in our community and ask them how did you end up? We did our own poll in the law office, real time. Well, when they were through school, they were getting Adderall and Ritalin. Once they graduated, a doctor wouldn't write that prescription for them anymore. so they're getting it on the streets. I'll tell you another story about my lifetime experience in the law office. When people buy the marijuana on the streets, those dealers a lot of times also sell other kinds of drugs. So that means when they're selling marijuana, they may also be selling meth and fentanyl. And sometimes those people, that gets mixed into their marijuana. So there's people that are smoking unregulated meth and they have fentanyl, or marijuana and have fentanyl and meth. And I'm going to talk about the will of the people. It's a funny thing. Kelly, how many years would you say I came to this council?
All the time I was on council.
Did everybody always vote the way I wanted?
No.
Did I throw a fit on social media or demand that people be removed from council or anything like that?
No, you're not on social media.
No, but did I throw a fit?
No.
Because I respected. So the 100 and some people that voted for it are my constituents. We should not all vote the same. We shouldn't. And if I want to say this, if these, I don't know how these two are going to vote tonight, but I won't be mad at them. I won't be mad at them at all. But the bullying that I've seen against me, which I'm elected, so I can take. I signed up for it. It's ugly. It's really ugly. My husband and my children want me to resign because they're so upset about it. But I will say this. I put myself out there with the, then I get the tax. So I stick a sign in my yard. Everybody knows how I'm going to vote because that's how I am. If I represent people, you shouldn't know. I shouldn't be wishy-washy. I shouldn't be saying one thing to somebody's face and something else. So when I make my vote tonight, and it will be yes, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I will respect every vote here, but I'm asking that my vote be respected. And for everybody that's on YouTube that's going to attack me, I just hope that they, I will sleep fine tonight, but I'll be voting yes, and those are my reasons.
Brent?
I think, obviously, all 6 of us behind this table have our own individual opinions. And I think last fall, when we went to the elections and voted, that was the time to exercise our opinions on how we voted then. Beyond that, I think that our personal opinions should not come into play on this, because we put those 3 things on the ballot and stated that it was an advisory election, looking for the residents to advise us in how they would like us to vote. And they very clearly did. They gave it by nearly 2-to-1 margin. They voted against having marijuana facilities in town. And so regardless of my personal opinion, I'm going to vote against them. Had the vote gone the other way, and it had been 2/3 in favor of, I would vote in favor of them, because that is what the people want. We are here as representatives. We are being asked, we ask them to give us advice, and then if we turn around and don't take it, what does that say about us as leaders? I don't know that I could look residents in the face if I turned around and did the exact opposite of what they said to do. In a perfect world, we would have had 100% voter turnout on this. We obviously didn't. There's never going to be an election where you get 100%. Whether the turnout is 1%, 10%, 20, or 80, it doesn't matter. This is the data that we have been given. This is what we have been, the people who cared enough to vote one way or the other, that is how they have told us that they feel. And again, like I said, I just don't know how I could consider myself a representative of the people if I went behind their back and did the exact opposite. Regardless of my own opinion, this is what the people that we represent, how did they vote? That's how we should be voting as well. So I will be voting against allowing marijuana facilities.
Okay.
Okay. Go for it.
Ryan?
Okay. Wow, I get put in the fire right away. I just want to say, everybody who came tonight, I appreciate you being here. I do respect everybody's comments, opinions, everybody who's done research on it. I understand whichever way I would decide to go, somebody's going to be upset. I see both sides of it, I really do. I am not completely against it, I'm not completely for it, I literally am right smack dab in the middle. I guess for me, the toughest thing is, well, I've already asked the Board of Elections that there is something on the ballot in May, so if it would not pass here, could it go back on the ballot in May for another revote or something? So there is something in Millersburg that would already be on the ballot that the cost wouldn't be quite as much. But for me, what it comes down to the last several days, because I've taken the last 2 weeks to really think about it, because in 2001, I was had rheumatoid arthritis really bad, and I was on a $50,000 a year medicine and the stuff that it does to you. So if it'd be today, I could clearly see me wanting to take something like that. But what it truly comes down to me is my name is on that ballot, the same ballot where this questionnaire was. And I understand it was a very, very, very low turnout. But for me, it's just hard to say to these people that I went to their houses to say I'm gonna be, you know, that, hey, you took this questionnaire and you answered it, but I don't care, I'm gonna do something different. It's just hard for me to go with that. I wish, like I said, school levies, income taxes, the Millersburg income tax, it was 3 times on the ballot before it passed. We heard last meeting that Loudonville, they didn't do it, and then 6 months later they did. So if this wouldn't pass tonight, who says the door's completely shut? But I guess for me, it's gonna come down to the fact that I get a lot of, I paint for a living, and the people that I've talked to, obviously grandparents and stuff, they're concerned for their kids, and I understand you can get it somewhere else. But I guess ultimately for me, it's gonna come down to the fact that just 2 months ago, my name was on a ballot and I was voted in, and yes, it was uncontested, unfortunately. I wish there would have been a contest, but it's hard for me to go against that. You know, it just, I'm sorry for the people that, because I really, no matter what I say, it's gonna disappoint somebody, but tonight it has to be a no, but I really would be, I'm all for putting it back on the ballot one more time. And, you know, I mean, if it was closer, because I remember going into it knowing that I might have to vote on it coming into 2026, and I said, if it's just a little bit closer, but at 60-30, and yes, it was a low turnout. And I tell people all the time, go vote, go vote. So as of right now, I have to say no.
Andy?
I'm going to be with Andy on that. I'd like my vote to be respected. I am going to say no. Personal conviction.
Okay.
But as I'm like with Ryan, it can be brought back up. Like I said, the door's not closed. I do see the health benefits of it, but as of right now, I say no.
Specifically, Ryan and Andy, do you feel like any other council member helped you make your decision, or did you make it on your own?
I made mine on my own. I'm all for myself.
Yeah, I didn't, you know, I made a vow that when I got elected, there's nobody gonna make me feel, you know what I'm saying? I wanna be myself. There's gonna be nights I'm gonna be for some people, and there's gonna be nights I'm not, but in this case, no, I've taken the last 2 weeks and really thought it through, and it just, I had a grandma again today say, we elected you, you know, don't go against what we said. So, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Maybe some of those that said no would say, no, don't do this, but put it back on the ballot. You know, keep trying, because I do believe there's benefits for it, but tonight I have to say no.
Okay. We have 4 noes and 2 yeses, so we will move on to council goals. 2026 council goals. We're going to start with, last time we started with the longest running council member, and that's you, Brent.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes.
Do we need to stay then?
No, you do not. You're fine. Thank you so much for coming.
But I want to thank you all for your time. Appreciate it. Respect everyone on the job you're doing. And maybe it'll be on the ballot. So, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Brent.
that's all right. So I think I mentioned something about this the last time, but now that the garage on Worcester Road has been taken down, I would really like to see some kind of a reconfiguration of the sidewalk through there where it runs right beside the road. You're just inches away from semis going down through there if you walk on that road. I don't know if it can be moved, some kind of physical barrier put in the way, but I would love to see some kind of safety made in that stretch. And now that we actually may have a little bit of real estate to play with now that that garage is gone. If you ever walk along that stretch,
It's terrifying.
it's terrifying.
It's
Absolutely.
terrifying.
So I would love to see some kind of project that would remove some of the danger in that area.
That's good. Bob, I think you're the next longest.
My goal is, you know, the 250th anniversary of our country. I remember when we had the bicentennial, and there was a parade in Millersburg, was way over an hour long. It was a great parade, and I want to see that weekend, you know, on the 4th, something happening downtown with a parade and fireworks. Second, housing, that's the biggest issue. Somehow we've got to get housing here.
Hopefully with our new study, that'll help us, help to direct us. Okay, that's good. Tom?
I guess my goals are, you know, we had this discussion tonight and, on the marijuana and to honor what the voters wanted. And when it was on the ballot, my wife and I talked the day of the election, you know, what am I gonna do if it passes? And I said, it's simple. You've got to vote for it because that's
what people want.
That's what people wanted. That's what they voted, and that's a representative government. So I guess my first goal is to continue to represent the wishes of the people and never my personal goals. And hopefully I've not influenced the council members, as I've been accused of, is dictating how they're gonna vote. The other goal is with the school property being involved, hopefully in some way in directing good development up there when that property is vacated and sold, so. Because I think it could benefit, obviously, the village.
The school property, just to clarify, I didn't hear that, okay.
Andrea?
Sorry, lose my voice.
Well, I got criticized for the goal that I had last time, so I won't talk about that anymore. I'm on park things, so I'd like to see the ball fields get done better. Do more to I think we have enough pickleball courts now. Brad did his. Brad did. Oh, okay then.
Sorry, can I amend mine?
So I'd like to.
At both parks?
Yeah.
The fields?
Well, I think that the ball fields, I mean, we could do more. Bucks ball fields are beautiful, I'm sorry.
They are.
I'd like ours to, whatever, I mean, I already talked to, come on, Joe.
Kelly?
His son plays baseball.
Kelly?
Yeah, so I
Kelly.
said, he's ahead of it, so I said, you know, give me some ideas of, what we could do to make those ball fields.
Yeah.
Softball, huh?
Maybe straight it instead of back and
Well,
forth.
we could do, now there was a huge goal that I don't know, turf.
Blood pressure just went
So just so you know, if the dispensary would've, I would've said, hey, that would be great to have gone. They've already quoted 200,000 for the 3 fields. But, I mean, there's things we could.
But there's grants we could get.
Yeah, so that's one of they would like turf. So I said, well, honestly, I thought of the revenue that would go to the parks, so I did think of that. You know, that was one of the things. So I'm not gonna say the one that I got criticized for again, but I would like to make the ball fields better, the softball and baseball fields.
Okay.
And thank you for reminding me. I'd like to amend mine to add 2 more pickleball courts.
Yeah. Are you really serious?
Yes, there are times when it is stacked full. You cannot get a court. I kid you not.
Well, isn't there an app that you could get on, that you could reserve your,
You can schedule them, but if 40 people show up, you're out of luck.
why don't you start a softball team and then you get on?
Softball team.
We could have our softball team, there's a softball team here. You work at the golf course, why don't you golf more?
You know, from your mouth to my wife here, I've been told in a public meeting that I need to golf more. The will of the people have spoken.
That's right, that's right. Okay, Andy.
I have a few. First one I'd like to see is solar-powered radar speed signs. I think it would help resolve like speed complaints. We could have portable ones down on the poles if AEP allows that. Some would help slow down drivers, and then I know some collect data depending how detailed you go. Maybe help with that aspect. Another one I'd like to see is adding reflective chevron to all the street and utility vehicles, kind of like the state does, and I've noticed the county has went to that, just
That's
to
a
try
good
to make them
idea.
stand out
Make
in
'em
town a little
stand
bit
out.
more compared to like, say, the Millway trucks,
Yeah,
where they kind of blend in,
yeah.
you know, with parking and traffic. Another one with that, I'd like to see the logos on the side of the trucks updated, something a little bit more modern. They're kind of old school clip art, not, and we've updated the police cruiser, so it'd be nice to maybe update the rest of the departments. Fourth one, throw it out there, I would like to see side-by-sides approved in town.
I'm with you on that.
But I guess with that, the revenue thing, since we didn't have the marijuana thing, I would like to see how we could maybe do like a little permit sticker that would be valid for like 1 year, 2 year. That would be an income thing, and then figure out the whole inspection thing. And then I guess finally my last one is see if there's any other businesses or residents that aren't within the village corporation limits, if they would be interested in coming on board. I don't know if there's any other stipulations or like.
You're talking to be annexed into the.
Yeah, I
village?
guess like that, like I know like out towards like the fairgrounds, if you look at the map, it's like in and out, in and out, in
Yes,
and out.
it's very
You know,
wonky.
maybe they might have a change of heart if they want back on, that'd be something. Or other businesses that might wanna come on board, say south of town, north of town, wherever. So, that's all I have.
Good. That's a good list. Ryan?
All right. I guess for me, I like to talk, so my goal is to go into these different businesses downtown and when we have events and talk to I heard a couple years ago, last couple years, that some of these business owners do not know who their council people are because they never see them. Now, I'm not saying it's our obligation to go into their businesses, obviously, but it's nice, you know, like if they see you in public, they don't know who you are. So just from time to time, go into the businesses, and then when we have events, not step on Taylor's toes or anything, but, you know, like when we had the Antique Festival, you know, asking the vendors, how's it going? Just make sure they know somebody from the town is, you know, trying to get them to come back again each year, so.
That's great. Yeah, that's good. I have two. As phase one of the sidewalk project is completed, I would like us to kind of start engineering for phase two, to just get all the sidewalks done in the downtown so that we can be done with that and move on to something else. I would also like to explore some additional grant opportunities that might be available to support projects that would benefit the village. I got the grant writing bug, I guess, now that we're getting some money in here, so I would like to see us do some more of that. So those are mine. Okay, well, hopefully we can get a lot of those done. That would be great. All right, so going through our other old business, Nate talked about smart traffic lights, new water bill system. Were you guys able to get on and do that? We got on and paid ours online. Worked out really nice.
So I am curious. I went in and set up an account and connected, I've got 2 different accounts. And I was going to pay them until I saw there's a service fee, even if you pay from a bank account. Are we being charged a fee for paying from a bank account? Do you know?
Is the village
Is the village
being
being
charged?
charged? Yes.
No, I do not believe so.
Okay.
Not a per item charge, those fees, just like our old point and pay system that we use, the fees are passed along to the customer. We're not paying those.
So I guess most of the online payment options that I've seen, if you pay with a credit card, yes, you're gonna pay a fee, but if it's an e-check from your bank account, then it's free. But I saw that same fee was on both of them.
Yeah, even on our point and pay, whether you did an e-check or whether you did a credit or debit card, it charged, but yeah, I don't know about so our other utility company, like if you pay with an e-check with another utility company, are you saying that it's typically not a charge?
That I'm not sure. I mean, I usually pay through the bank for most of those.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, I was gonna go along and try it, and then I was like, $3 times 2 accounts for
So
$6,
let
I'll
me-
just walk a check up the street.
Did you explore, and this, maybe I shouldn't even ask this right now, but am I being annoying? Did you look at the auto pay option of like
Well, see, I didn't-
like an EFT? Is that an option?
I didn't know if they would charge, I didn't even get in and try setting that up because I was like,
Okay.
well, if they're charging for, paying with your bank account,
Right.
they'll probably charge for an auto pay too. So
Let's check into the
Okay.
EFT option too,
Okay.
just to see, a lot of times EFTs don't have per item charges. It's the e-checks, because those do work just about like a debit card,
Okay.
you know? So let me make a note to see with Mary if she can get information. They're having weekly calls
okay,
with UB4. So if she does not know, her and Jessica can ask that question about, how can our residents pay without a fee?
The fee.
And if that is auto pay using, your bank account, we will find that out. That's a very good question.
well, and
Sure.
I did, I think, sign up for the paperless billing. It will hopefully save, if enough people do that, it will save a lot
Yeah,
on postage
that'll be
costs.
Huge,
Um,
yeah.
That's why I didn't sign up for auto pay either, because I thought, oh, $2.88 is still $2.88.
I will say if you're trying to sign up and they don't have the phone number,
Yeah,
here,
you gotta call
you
in.
gotta call in, so.
It took me a couple of guesses to get it, but
I tried I had 3 phone numbers, I tried all of them, and I called in and said, we don't have a phone number listed for you.
I bet
We went down
that's
the hallway when we set this up, so.
I bet there are a lot of folks that Mary doesn't have a phone number for in her system, if I had to guess, so.
It
I think
it
that's
gives you
gonna
3
be a-
options, but the phone is the only one we collect. We don't collect social security
Right.
numbers, and there's another choice, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Just so people are aware of it.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that if you can't
Yeah.
sign up, it's probably your phone number.
Yeah.
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 Okay, the Worcester Road Water Line Project, President Trump signed the appropriations bill on Friday, and we are getting a check for $400,000 for the Worcester Road Water Line Project. So all that went through, so I'm sure it's going to come with we gotta have it done by X date and have all of our receipts sent in and all of that, which is not gonna be a problem. So as soon as we find out how that's all gonna work, then we'll let you guys know what's up with all of that. But it is a done deal, and we will be receiving that money, so that's very exciting. Nate talked about the downtown sidewalk project, the alley vacation, the streetlights. Have we had any? Have the streetlights, have they been replaced?
They've been getting some of them.
Some of them, okay.
They are working.
I know some of the repairs have taken over 2 months, so
Okay.
it's obviously a drawn-out process.
Yeah. Okay, I think, let's see, we have a lot of these updated on Terrace View. Nothing has changed since our last council meeting on that. Downtown lighting, crosswalks.
Nothing new on that. Pathmaster was supposed to be getting me options. I've not heard anything from them on that yet.
Well, hopefully when they come to town,
Yeah.
we can talk.
strong arm.
Yeah, strong arm, talk to them a little bit about that. The Millersburg Mobile Home Park, I will give you guys a little update on that. They did not get someone to plow, so I got someone to plow down there today. And I think that they're going to make a contract with Buckeye to plow that out, so they were all pretty happy to get plowed out today. Anybody else have anything for old or unfinished business?
do we need to act on the?
Yes, I was gonna ask that with new.
Okay.
Okay, so for the new business, did you guys look at the, sample moratorium legislation that you received in your packets? Did that look okay to everyone?
Looks good to me.
Looks good? Yeah.
We will have them draw that
So,
up for next meeting?
For the next
Okay.
meeting, yep, and put that on with the Aspen Energy, so we'll have legislation on the next, and then we'll do 3 readings. Does anybody else have any new business? Do you want to come to the microphone, please? Tell us who you are.
Roddy DeHass from outside the village of Millersburg, right on the edge. We're opening the YMCA Child Care Center at Millersburg New Point Church in March. It'll be for weeks, 6 weeks old to kindergarten age, 5 days a week, 6 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. is what we're basing for.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else with new business?
I just have two
Ryan.
things. First off, did you notice your trash bill went down? It actually didn't go down. They went to
No, it
2
didn't.
months.
Yeah.
Is that okay? They're paying, charging 2 months at a time now instead of 3.
Well, I think it was just to get us.
It's the
back-
same amount, but I
It was
mean,
to get us
it's,
back into the, it'll be 3.
It
This
will be
was
three.
just
This
2.
was just kind of a catch-up to get us
Uh-huh.
back to a quarterly billing.
I didn't know that, so,
Okay.
okay. Well, no,
Yeah.
I got it. It was
Nothing about
lower. Is
that
that what it
change.
is? It's just temporary.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it was just for that one
I think
bill.
it's just a one-time thing
Yeah.
to get you back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why the schedule changed, if they would need to adjust it now.
Yeah.
If it's been that way for years, I don't know, but.
Yeah.
All right. The only other thing is, wow, that was hard tonight. You're gonna make some people mad, and I'm sure on the internet I'll get bullied or whatever. But the main thing I want to just bring up is this. When I decided I wanted to run, I understand there's gonna be difference in opinions sitting at this table. When I leave here when I go home at night, everybody sitting up here to me or friend, even if we disagree, so on and so on. But we're also a team, especially the elected ones. So I guess for me, I can't stop what people say about us or anybody individually online when it comes to, stuff. But I just would like us as elected officials just to be careful to not allow people to go on our social medias and criticize council members and call them out by name and stuff like that. I just don't think that's because to me, it's not building us up, it's tearing us down. I mean, there's enough people doing that. So that's just a thought, because when I left here the other night, 2 of my council members got called out by name, and I didn't think it was very appropriate. But just to think about it, that we're a team up here, and we're going to get attacked outside. We don't need it from our own social media pages. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone have anything for executive session? All right, hearing nothing, do we have a motion for adjournment, please?
So moved.
Second.
I'm just kidding. I thought we established that was supposed to be.
Well, we
Andrew's job
tried.
last week. All right, we'll go with you though.
I'm new here.
All right, so Hofstadter.
Aye.
Zollers.
Aye.
Kellogg. Aye. Hirschberger.
Aye.
Vaughn. Shoemaker.
Aye.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.